Hello, my name is Rob and today I'm staying at the RIU Costa del Sol in Torremolinos. Welcome to Rob's Randoms. This is a channel where I make videos about things that interest me, and I make a lot of hotel reviews. Whenever we go away, I like to make a review and give my thoughts on it. And yes, today we are in Spain at the RIU Costa del Sol in Torremolinos. So in this video, I'm going to give you my review of the place, the amenities, the food, and just our review about staying here for a week with my extended family. So the first thing I've got to tell you is that the hotel has an app. And on that app, it gives you the cocktail menu, the food menus, all of the activities that are on. It's a really good app. We've started using it and it's fantastic. RIU really does have a great app. So now let's begin the review properly with a tour of the hotel. So going through the main doors of the hotel, we come to the main reception. This is a very large open space with the reception desk right in front of you. There is a bar to the left. And all throughout the reception there is lots of tables and chairs. This is also air conditioned and is a nice place to just sit and hang out. Leaving through the doors of the right of the reception there is a walkway, and this leads to lots of hotel rooms and also some of the restaurants and pools. On the right here is the main restaurant, I would say. It's called Ajo Blanco, and we went there most of the days. Following it around, and there are some toilets on the left. And then just after that is the path that took us to our hotel room, which we'll get to that in a bit. And just after that, we have the second restaurant, La Dolce Vita. And again, I'll talk about the food later on. And just past that is the main pool. It also has a bar on the left, and on the right is where the main entertainment happens. As you can see, this pool does get very busy and all of the sunbeds do get taken up very, very early in the morning. And the reps were doing some sort of water activity as I was walking through. As we go back up the stairs, on the right here is also the third restaurant. Now, if we head back to the main doors of the hotel and we go left, then we come to the second pool. This pool did get busy throughout the day as well, but it's definitely quieter than the main pool. There's also a bar here called Sherry, and just past this is the third pool. This we found was the quietest pool. This is where we hung out most of the time, although as you can see, quiet is a relative term. Also at this pool is the third restaurant, Pepe's Food. Just past this pool is a little kiddie pool. And just past that we have the gym and spa, and next to that we have another bar, El Jardin de Lola. So this is our room at the RIU Costa del Sol. It's a standard double room. It's quite nice, and I'm just going to give you a quick tour of it now. So as we come into the room, on the right we have got our toilet. So there's a nice wide sink, although it's not very deep, and that's kind of annoying. There's a nice big mirror. And there's one of these like close-up mirror things, which I always like. The shower is pretty good. It's very powerful, although it does make quite a loud noise, which is annoying. It's got the toilet, and just behind that is the bidet. Now, I've never used a bidet. I'm not going to try it here, but I understand they are very popular in Europe, so it makes sense to have one here. Coming into the room, the beds is 2 twin beds put together. The beds are quite firm, a little bit old and creaky, but I'm not having an issue sleeping on them, so it's not a problem. Just over here we have the closet. Quite a lot of space in here. You got your safe and a bunch of storage and hangers. Also some extra blankets and stuff up there. On the other side, again, more hangers, more space. Space to put all of your suitcases and stuff. More storage over here on the left. And here is the hot drinks station. So we've got regular tea, some herbal tea. That's creamer. Some coffee. And some decaf coffee with a selection of sweeteners as well. Now, apparently this is all supposed to get replaced every 2 days, although I only started drinking the tea from it yesterday, so I couldn't tell you how often they actually do replenish it. And just underneath that is a mini fridge. Ignore the milkshake, we brought that. The bottle of water is from the hotel, although we asked for that at the bar and put it in there. Although my mother-in-law also has a room here, and she is getting bottles of water put in her fridge. So I don't know what that's supposed to happen, if you're supposed to be getting water for free there as well. We've got a table and chairs here, although we're clearly just using it for storage. I haven't even sat on the chair. Yeah, it's quite nice. And then we have a balcony out here. So we've got 2 chairs and a little coffee table, place to hang your towels, and not a terrible view. Maybe it would be better if we were a few floors higher, but it's quite nice to just sit out here and enjoy the sun. The hotel has 4 restaurants covering a mix of breakfast, lunch and dinner. The restaurants are all open at random times, however, and some of them require reservations. Hopefully this graph explains it a bit better. As I said earlier, we went to the Ajo Blanca restaurant for most of our meals, so that's where most of this footage comes from. The breakfast fare seemed pretty standard for an all-inclusive hotel. There was all the makings of a half-decent full English, pancakes, lots of fruit and continental options. And for some reason there was a vat of hot chocolate. It looked like gravy, but was basically chocolate custard and apparently wasn't all that good. Lunch and dinner were both usually pretty similar. There was an array of dishes with a lot of variety and a specific vegetarian and vegan section. Overall, however, frankly, I can't say I enjoyed the food very much. Now, I understand that it's buffet food at a family-oriented hotel and it has to cater to lots of people, so generally they're going to go for the lowest common denominator, and most of the food is going to be bland but inoffensive. I just didn't think it was all that good. However, my 8-year-old nephew absolutely loved everything that he chose to eat, so maybe it's just that it isn't food that's aimed at me. Now, I will say that I'm a vegetarian and the others in my party generally did enjoy the meat dishes, so maybe I'm just being too harsh. However, if you're vegetarian or vegan, be warned that there isn't very much there for you, and what is there isn't great. The restaurant The Dolce Vita works in a slightly different way than a buffet. It requires a reservation for one thing, and once inside it's a buffet service for the starter, but you order the main course from a menu, or you can still use the buffet instead. We went there twice and had a much nicer experience the first time, and the buffet was definitely better than the main restaurant, although it did have fewer options. Outside and next to one of the pools is the snack bar Pepe's Food, which is a grab-as-you-go kind of thing serving burgers and fries. However, when we were there, the food wasn't labelled. And next to the burgers were some chips and some battered rings, and I ate one assuming it was an onion ring, but I then found out that it was actually calamari and so had fish inside. As I say, I'm vegetarian, and so I wasn't happy to find out I was eating fish. They should have had signs above the food explaining what was on offer and what the allergens were. I thought that maybe it was a one-off, so I went back a few days later to see if they had signs then, but they still didn't. Now, the final thing I have to say about food at the hotel is that me and several others of my party did get sick on this holiday. However, we couldn't pinpoint it down to any specific restaurant or dish. Maybe it was just the change in diet or the heat or something, but I have to mention it because it could have been the food. The hotel was all-inclusive, and so it had self-serve drinks machines dotted all around. From these you could get hot drinks, soft drinks, as well as wine and beer. The cruise campo was great to have on tap, and there was even a lemon version of it as well, although I wasn't a big fan of that. As for the wine, here are my quick reviews. The white was fine, the red was dreadful, the rosé had no taste, and I didn't try the sangria. As for the bars, they had a selection of pretty okay middle shelf spirits you could ask for. For example, here I'm drinking Ballantine's whiskey, which is generally what I would drink at home as well. But they also had a menu of cocktails to try, all of which were pretty good. I had the caipirinha a lot, which is basically a daiquiri, and that was very nice. One issue I would say is that they would often use lemon slices instead of limes, which isn't always a big issue, but it is an issue in something like a mojito where lime is the predominant flavour. The hotel hosted a lot of entertainment activities for guests basically all day, every day. In the daytime they would have games like darts or shuffleboard. They also had some fun pool activities, often split between adults and kids. In the evenings, most nights they would have live shows on the main stage. We never actually watched a full one, but oftentimes I would wander over just to get some footage, and they always seemed very busy and popular, and from what I saw, they were fun shows or had talented musicians playing. So, final thoughts and wrap up. This was a very nice hotel. I have had a very nice time here. Our week here has gone by quite quickly, actually. I think we've overpaid for what we got, but also we are here in the middle of summer, and that was on purpose because we're here with our nephews and it's going to be more expensive, accept that. The hotel itself is very nice. Really enjoyed the room, really enjoyed all of the extra amenities and stuff, all of the games and stuff that we could play, having the free self-serve drinks, that was really cool. There has been a few negatives. 4 of our party did get sick, and I can't say that's from the hotel. I can't explicitly say that, but it did seem that that was the one thing we all had in common. Also, our room did smell of cigarettes quite often. We're not really sure why that is, if people were smoking nearby or if it was coming in through the fans, something like that. It happened several times. It was frustrating. There has also been an issue a few times here of people working here not speaking English, even though a lot of English people come here. We, at one point, had an issue. One of my nephews cut his foot, and we went to the lifeguard to see if they had a first aid kit for a plaster, and he just didn't understand the word plaster, and I think just brushed us off and said, we don't do that, go away. I feel like a lifeguard should have that kind of thing. Or there's a few times we've been at the restaurant and the person serving us hasn't understood like the word wine, which feels like a weird thing to not understand if so much of your clientele here is English. They're not huge issues, but it has been a few times that we've noticed it. But anyway, as I say, all of these issues are minor. We still have had a really good time, and it has been worth the money, even if it was quite a lot. So I've had a really good time here. Let me know in the comments if you're coming here, if you've been here in the past, if there's anything I didn't mention, or if you've got any other questions, maybe I could try and help them for you. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please do click like and subscribe. My name is Rob. I'll see you in another random video very soon.